My beloved child, listen closely to me now, for this moment is not ordinary. Something has shifted, even if your eyes cannot yet see it. I know how long you have been waiting. I know the quiet questions you have carried in your heart, the ones you never spoke out loud because you were afraid of the answer. You have wondered if the silence meant absence, if the delay meant denial, if the passing of time meant you were forgotten. But I am speaking to you now to tell you this with clarity and love. Your time has come. Not is coming. Not one day far away. Your time has come. And I ask you, gently but firmly, to see the good news that stands before you. I know the weight you have been carrying. I have felt the heaviness in your spirit when nights felt longer than they should, when hope seemed like something meant for others but not for you. You have watched doors close. You have watched prayers linger without answers. You have tried to remain strong while quietly wondering how much longer you could endure. Yet even in those moments, when you felt unseen, I was closer than your breath. Every delay had a purpose. Every pause was shaping you. Nothing was wasted. You may feel like time has slipped through your fingers, like opportunities passed you by while you stood still. But I tell you now, with the authority of love and the tenderness of a father, I do not measure time the way you do. What you call delay, I call preparation. What you call waiting, I call becoming. And now, the season has changed. Your heart has been prepared to receive what once would have overwhelmed you. Your spirit has been strengthened in ways you could not recognize while you were in the process. That is why I am calling you to lift your eyes. Not to the pain behind you, not to the fear around you, but to the good news unfolding before you. There is a door opening that once remained shut. There is clarity where there was confusion. There is peace where there was constant striving. I know it feels almost dangerous to hope again. You have protected your heart by expecting less, telling yourself not to believe too much. But I am asking you now to loosen your grip on disappointment. You do not need to brace yourself anymore. You do not need to live as though the best has already passed. The truth is, what lies ahead carries more purpose than what you have lost. This message is not random. You are hearing these words because your spirit is ready to awaken. Something new is being born in your life, and it begins with a simple but powerful realization. The season of waiting is giving way to the season of fulfillment. I am not rushing you, and I am not pressuring you. I am simply inviting you to recognize this holy moment. Your time has come, my beloved child. See the good news. Let it settle into your heart. Let it breathe life into places that have grown weary. This is the beginning, and I am with you as it unfolds. My beloved child, I want you to know something deeply and without doubt. I have seen your waiting. Not a single moment escaped my awareness. Every quiet sigh you released when no one was listening, every prayer you whispered with trembling faith, every time you chose to keep going when your strength felt thin, I saw it all. You were never invisible to me. Even when answers seemed slow, even when heaven felt silent, my eyes were always upon you. There were days you questioned whether waiting itself had changed you for the worse. You wondered if patience had turned into weariness, if hope had thinned into survival. You asked yourself if you were becoming smaller, more guarded, less alive. But listen to me now with an open heart. Waiting did not diminish you. It deepened you. It stretched your roots far beneath the surface where strength is formed quietly and securely. What you could not see while you were waiting is how much you were growing. I watched you learn to endure without becoming bitter. I watched you choose kindness when disappointment would have been easier. I watched you trust me even when you did not understand me. These things matter. They were not small. They were shaping the person you are becoming. The world may only celebrate visible victories, but I honor the unseen ones. I honor the nights you held on with nothing but faith. I honor the mornings you rose again even when joy felt distant. You may have thought that waiting meant standing still, that your life was on pause while others moved ahead. But you were never stagnant. You were being refined. You were being strengthened in ways that could only happen in stillness. Just as a seed grows in darkness before it ever breaks the surface, so you were changing beneath the soil of silence. What looks like inactivity to the outside world is often the most important work of all. There were moments when you felt forgotten, when it seemed as though others were chosen while you remained overlooked. You questioned your worth, your calling, your place in this world. You asked me why your journey seemed slower, harder, heavier. And I tell you now, with gentleness and truth, I was not withholding from you. I was protecting you. I was aligning things in ways you could not yet see. Some blessings require a certain strength to carry them, and I was ensuring that when they arrived, they would not crush you. My beloved child, you were never behind. You were exactly where you needed to be. The timing of your life is not a mistake. The pace of your story is intentional. What I am preparing to release into your life requires the wisdom you gained in waiting, the compassion you developed in uncertainty, and the resilience you built through endurance. Without these, the good news ahead would not feel as rich, as meaningful, as life-giving. I know there were days you wanted to rush the process, to force doors open with your own strength. And I know there were days you were tempted to give up entirely, to settle for less just to escape the ache of waiting. But you did not. You stayed. You endured. Even when your faith felt fragile, you held on. It matters more than you realize. Now I ask you to look back, not with regret, but with understanding. See how every delay carried purpose. See how every closed door redirected you. See how every unanswered prayer was shaping a deeper trust within you. You are not the same person you were when the waiting began. You are stronger, wiser, and more aware of my presence than ever before. This is why I speak to you now with such certainty. The waiting was not in vain. It was not punishment. It was preparation. And preparation always precedes fulfillment. Your heart has been made ready, even if you do not fully recognize it yet. The good news approaching your life is not random or rushed. It is arriving at the right moment, in the right way to the right version of you. Rest in this truth, my beloved child. You were seen. You were held. You were guided through every moment of waiting. And now, as the season shifts, you can step forward with confidence, knowing that nothing you endured was wasted and nothing you hoped for was ignored. My beloved child, I want you to understand this truth that has been unfolding quietly beneath the surface of your life. The shift you have been waiting for did not begin today. It began long before you noticed. While you were wondering if anything was changing, I was already moving pieces into place. While you were questioning whether your prayers had reached me, I was answering them in ways your eyes could not yet recognize. Change rarely announces itself loudly at first. Often, it arrives as a whisper before it becomes a song. There were moments when you felt stuck, when every day seemed to look the same and progress felt invisible. But unseen does not mean inactive. I was working in rooms you could not enter, conversations you could not hear, hearts you could not influence. I was softening what once resisted you. I was removing obstacles you did not even know stood in your way. I was aligning timing, people, and circumstances so that when the moment arrived, it would not collapse under its own weight. You assumed the silence meant nothing was happening. But silence is often where the deepest work is done. Just as the earth shifts beneath the ground long before a mountain rises, so I was preparing change beneath the surface of your life. The heaviness you felt was not stagnation, it was transition. The discomfort was not failure, it was movement. And now, what has been forming in secret is beginning to reveal itself. I know fear tries to speak to you now. It tells you not to trust this moment, not to believe that something good could finally unfold. Fear reminds you of past disappointments, urging you to guard your heart. But listen to my voice above all others. This is not a false dawn. This is not temporary relief. This is alignment. The ground beneath your feet is steadier than it has been in a long time, even if you are still learning how to stand on it. I am asking you to become aware of subtle signs. Notice the peace that arrives without explanation. Notice the clarity beginning to replace confusion. Notice how doors that once required force are now opening with ease. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. I am showing you that what you hoped for is no longer distant. It is approaching, step by step, moment by moment. Do not rush ahead of me, and do not shrink back in doubt. Walk with me. Trust the pace. Trust the process. You are not late, and you are not early. You are exactly on time. The version of you standing here now is capable of receiving what is coming. That is why I am inviting you to lift your head and open your heart. Let expectancy replace anxiety. Let trust quiet fear. And my beloved child, if these words are stirring something within you, if they are bringing peace where there was tension, or light where there was heaviness, do not keep this moment to yourself. Bless this message with your response. Like it, so it can reach hearts that feel as weary as yours once did. Share it, so others who are waiting can be reminded that unseen shifts are still sacred. Subscribe and stay close, so you can continue receiving words that strengthen and restore you. And I ask you especially to hype this video, to lift it with your voice and your action, so this good news can travel farther than either of us can see. Your obedience in small acts carries more weight than you realize. When you respond, you participate in something larger than yourself. You help awaken hope in places that have grown quiet. You help remind others that waiting is not the end of the story. This message was never meant for you alone. Now, as you breathe and receive these words, rest in this knowing. The shift is real. The movement has begun. What was once hidden is coming into view. You do not need to strive to make it happen. Simply remain open, remain trusting, and remain close to me. The good news is already on its way, and your heart is ready to recognize it. My beloved child, hear my heart in this moment. If these words have poured light into you, know that I desire this same light to reach many others who are still sitting in the shadows of waiting. I say to you now, as I once declared, that when a seed is sown in faith, the harvest always follows. When you choose to support this work through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal giving placed in the description and shown through the QR code, you are not giving to a channel. You are releasing hope into lives that are crying out for good news. I am the one who said that when you water others, you yourself will be refreshed, and I speak that promise over you now. This is not a small act. It is a prophetic response to what I am doing in this season. I bless what you release, and I command you to act now, so this message may run swiftly and awaken many hearts. My beloved child, I know the weight you have been carrying, even the parts you learned to hide so well that others believed you were fine. I know how you learned to smile while your heart felt tired, how you kept moving while something inside you longed to rest. The burden did not arrive all at once. It came slowly, layer by layer, until one day you realized you were exhausted without knowing exactly why. I have seen that weight, and I want you to hear this clearly now. You were never meant to carry it alone. You carried responsibilities that were never meant to be yours. You carried expectations placed on you by others, and even harsher ones you placed on yourself. You carried unanswered questions, unresolved pain, and memories that still ache when you least expect them to surface. You told yourself you should be stronger by now, that you should have moved on, that you should not feel this tired. But I do not speak to you in the language of accusation. I speak to you in the language of compassion. I know how heavy it felt to wake up each day and gather your strength just to face what looked ordinary to others. I know how draining it was to keep believing when results were slow, to keep loving when you were not always understood, to keep hoping when disappointment had visited you more than once. You wondered if something was wrong with you because it felt so hard. But nothing is wrong with you. You have simply been carrying more than you were designed to bear on your own. There were moments when you thought rest would come once everything was fixed, once answers arrived, once circumstances changed. So you kept pushing, telling yourself you would pause later. But rest was never meant to be a reward for finishing the journey. Rest was meant to be your companion along the way. And now, I am inviting you to lay down what has been weighing you down. You do not need to justify your exhaustion to me. You do not need to explain why it hurts or why it feels heavy. I already know. I have been close to you in every moment you felt overwhelmed. When your thoughts raced at night, I was there. When your heart felt full yet strangely empty, I was there. When you questioned how much longer you could keep going, I was there, steady and present. The weight you have been carrying has shaped you, but it will not define you. It has taught you empathy, patience, and depth, but it will not be the thing that breaks you. I am not asking you to ignore it or pretend it never existed. I am asking you to release it into my hands. What you surrender does not disappear, it transforms. When you let me carry what you cannot, you make room for peace to take its place. You may fear that without this weight, you will lose something important, that letting go means becoming careless or unprepared. But I assure you, what I give you in exchange is lighter and stronger. I give you clarity instead of confusion. I give you endurance without exhaustion. I give you peace that does not depend on circumstances aligning perfectly. Listen to me, my beloved child. You do not need to be on guard all the time. You do not need to anticipate every possible outcome. You do not need to carry the future on your shoulders. That responsibility has always been mine. Your role is not to control what comes next, but to trust me as we walk into it together. As you release this weight, you may feel vulnerable at first. That is natural. You have grown used to carrying burdens as a form of protection. But I am teaching you a new way to live, one where strength is not measured by how much you endure alone, but by how deeply you trust me. This way is gentler, but it is not weaker. It is grounded in truth and sustained by love. Take a breath now, and allow my words to settle within you. Let your shoulders relax. Let your heart unclench. You are safe here. The weight you have been carrying does not have the final word. Relief is not a distant promise. It is already beginning. And as you continue forward, lighter than before, you will discover that the path ahead is not only possible, but filled with grace waiting to meet you at every step. My beloved child, I need you to hear this truth settle deeply within your heart. This is not the end of your story. What you see now is not the final chapter, no matter how convincing it may feel. I know there are moments when your present circumstances speak louder than your hope, when the evidence around you whispers that nothing more is coming. But I am the author of your life, and I do not end stories in the middle of pain. I do not abandon what I have begun. You have looked back at certain moments and wondered if those were the best days you would ever know. You have replayed memories of joy, opportunity, and connection, comparing them to where you stand now. And sometimes, quietly, you have grieved the version of yourself you once were. You have asked if you missed your moment, if a wrong turn or a delayed decision changed everything. But listen to me now with clarity and peace. Nothing that truly belongs to you can be lost forever. What you call endings, I often call transitions. What you interpret as failure, I see as redirection. There are paths you once desired that would not have led you to the fullness I have prepared. There are doors you wish had remained open that would have limited your growth. Even the disappointments you still ache over were not strong enough to cancel your purpose. They did not erase your calling. They did not disqualify you. You may feel as though time itself has worked against you, that years have passed without the change you prayed for. But I do not measure fulfillment by speed. I measure it by depth. Some things cannot be rushed without being ruined. Some dreams require maturity, patience, and wisdom that only time can produce. The waiting you endured has not aged you beyond usefulness. It has seasoned you for what is next. I see how easily discouragement tries to convince you that this chapter is all there is. It tells you to lower your expectations, to stop dreaming, to settle for survival instead of abundance. It urges you to protect yourself by expecting less. But I am calling you to lift your vision again. Not with naive optimism, but with grounded faith. The future I am leading you into is not built on wishful thinking but on intention and care. You are not starting over from nothing. You are starting from experience. Every lesson you learned, every wound you survived, every tear you shed has added substance to who you are. You are wiser now. You are more discerning. You are more aware of what truly matters. These are not losses, they are gains, and they will serve you well as new doors begin to open. Do not judge your entire life by a single season of difficulty. A winter does not define the year. A night does not cancel the morning. There is more unfolding than you can see from where you stand. Even now, as you listen, possibilities are aligning that will make sense of moments that once confused you. The meaning you sought is not gone. It is waiting to be revealed. My beloved child, I am not finished with you. Your story still holds chapters of joy, growth, connection, and purpose. There are conversations you have not yet had, places you have not yet been, and parts of yourself you have not yet discovered. There are moments ahead that will heal what once felt permanently broken. There is laughter ahead that will surprise you with its ease. Let go of the fear that tells you it is too late. Let go of the lie that says you have missed your chance. The timing of your life is not an accident, and neither is your perseverance. You are still here because there is still more. More life, more meaning, more love waiting for you. Trust me when I tell you this. The story is still being written. And what comes next carries the weight of promise, not regret. Stay open. Stay present. Stay willing to believe again. The pages ahead are not empty. They are filled with possibility. And I am with you, guiding every word, every step, every unfolding moment toward a future that reflects my goodness and my care for you. My beloved child, there is something I want you to understand with gentleness and truth. I was never delaying you. I was preparing you. What felt like stillness was not stagnation, and what felt like restraint was not rejection. It was care. It was intention. It was love working quietly in places you could not see. I know it did not feel that way while you were in it. Preparation rarely feels kind while it is happening. But now, looking back, you are beginning to sense that something within you has changed. You once believed that if things did not move forward quickly, they were not moving at all. You thought progress had to be loud, visible, and immediate. But the most important growth often happens slowly, beneath the surface, where no one applauds and no one notices. Just as roots must grow deep before a tree can stand tall against the wind, I was strengthening you where storms could not reach. If I had moved you forward too soon, you would have been standing on ground that could not yet support you. There were lessons you needed to learn, not from success but from patience. There was wisdom you could only gain by waiting, by watching, by enduring moments that stretched you beyond your comfort. I was teaching you discernment, so you would know which doors to walk through and which ones to leave behind. I was teaching you resilience, so setbacks would no longer shatter you. I was teaching you trust, not just in me but in the strength I placed within you. You may remember times when you asked me to hurry, when you felt ready long before circumstances reflected it. You wondered why opportunities seemed to come easily to others while you were asked to wait again. But I was not comparing your journey to anyone else's. I was tailoring your path specifically for you. What others could carry at that moment was not what you were meant to carry then. Your preparation required depth, not speed. I know there were moments you felt overlooked, as if your faithfulness was unnoticed. But preparation is never about being seen. It is about being ready. Every quiet choice you made to remain honest, to remain kind, to remain hopeful was shaping your character. Character matters more than timing. Without it, even the right opportunity can become a burden instead of a blessing. I was protecting you from that. You are standing now on the other side of much of that preparation. You may not feel fully ready, and that is natural. Readiness is not the absence of fear, it is the presence of strength greater than fear. And that strength has been built within you through every delay, every pause, every season where you thought nothing was happening. Something was happening. You were becoming. There are things ahead of you that require the steadiness you now possess. There are responsibilities that would have overwhelmed you before but will now refine you. There are relationships that require the wisdom you gained through waiting. You were not being held back. You were being formed. And formation always comes before fulfillment. My beloved child, do not resent the time it took to get here. Honor it. Respect what it has given you. The patience you learned will guide you. The humility you gain will ground you. The compassion that grew in you will connect you deeply to others. These are not small things. They are the very qualities that will allow what comes next to last. I am not rushing you into what is ahead, and I am not leaving you behind. I am walking with you at a pace that sustains life, not just momentum. Trust that the timing unfolding now is not random. It is the natural result of preparation meeting opportunity. When those two align, movement becomes purposeful instead of chaotic. Take a moment and recognize how far you have come. Not in achievements, but in strength. Not in outcomes, but in understanding. You are not the same person who began this journey. You are more grounded, more aware, and more capable of receiving what is coming without losing yourself in it. This season marks a transition, not because you forced it, but because you are ready for it. The preparation has done its work, and as you step forward, you do so not as someone delayed, but as someone equipped. I am with you in this next movement, guiding you with the same care that shaped you in the waiting. Trust me. Everything has been leading to this moment. My beloved child, I am inviting you into a new way of seeing. Not with the eyes that measure outcomes and count evidence, but with the eyes of the heart that recognize truth before it becomes visible. I know you have learned to rely on what you can see because disappointment taught you to be careful. You told yourself you would believe when you had proof, trust when everything made sense, and hope when the risk felt small. But the season you are entering now asks for something deeper. It asks you to see the good news before it fully appears. Faith is not denial of reality, it is alignment with a greater one. It is the quiet confidence that understands that what is forming beneath the surface is just as real as what eventually comes into view. You do not have to pretend that challenges do not exist. I am not asking you to ignore what feels uncertain. I am asking you to anchor yourself in what I have already spoken over you. My word carries weight long before circumstances respond to it. There were times when you waited for reassurance before taking a step, for certainty before believing, for clarity before trusting. That was understandable then. You were healing. You were learning to stand again. But now, I am strengthening your vision. I am teaching you to recognize peace as confirmation, even when details are still unfolding. I am showing you that calm in your spirit is often the first sign that something good is aligning. You may notice it in small ways at first. A sense of ease where anxiety once lived. A thought of hope that arrives without effort. A quiet excitement that feels gentle rather than overwhelming. These are not random emotions. They are signals. They are the language of faith speaking softly to your heart. When you learn to listen, you will realize that I am guiding you step by step, even when the full picture is not yet clear. Seeing the good news before it appears does not mean forcing optimism. It means allowing trust to take root. It means choosing not to interpret silence as absence or delay as denial. It means understanding that the same hands that held you in waiting are now leading you forward. Nothing has changed about my faithfulness. Only your perspective is being expanded. I know fear tries to interrupt this process. It warns you not to get your hopes up, not to expect too much, not to risk disappointment again. Fear wants you to stay grounded in what has already happened instead of what is being born. But fear does not get the final word. I do. And I say to you that hope is safe in my presence. Expectation will not harm you when it is rooted in me. You are learning to walk by trust, not by constant reassurance. You are learning that peace can exist even when questions remain unanswered. This is growth. This is maturity. This is the strength that allows you to move forward without needing everything to be perfect. When you see the good news ahead of time, you align your heart with it, making space for it to arrive fully. My beloved child, what you focus on shapes how you move. When you fix your eyes only on what is missing, you shrink back. When you lift your gaze toward what is promised, you step forward with confidence. I am not asking you to imagine a future disconnected from reality. I am inviting you to recognize that reality itself is still unfolding. The good news is not just an event you are waiting for. It is a state of alignment. It is the awareness that you are no longer stuck in the same place you once were. It is the realization that your heart is opening again, that trust is returning, that hope is breathing quietly within you. These are signs of life, signs of movement, signs that something is changing. Allow yourself to believe without demanding proof. Allow yourself to feel peace without understanding every detail. Allow yourself to expect goodness without fear of disappointment. This is not recklessness. This is faith rooted in relationship. You are not walking into the unknown alone. You are walking with me. As you learn to see with this new vision, you will notice that the path ahead becomes clearer one step at a time. You do not need the entire map. You only need the next step, and I will provide it when you are ready. Trust what I am showing you now, even if it feels subtle. The good news is closer than you think. and your heart is learning how to recognize it before it arrives. My beloved child, there is a door before you now, and it is not the same one you once stood in front of, knocking until your hands grew tired. That door belonged to a different season, a different version of you. This door is new, and it opens not by force, but by readiness. I know you hesitate to believe this, because you remember how many times you hoped before, how often you tried and were turned away. But listen to me carefully. This door was not visible to you until now because you were not meant to walk through it then. You have been conditioned by past disappointment to approach opportunity with caution. You learn to expect resistance, to brace yourself for rejection, to assume that every opening would eventually close again. That instinct once protected you, and I do not dismiss it. But what protected you in the past does not need to govern you in this new season. I am teaching you how to step forward without fear tightening your chest, without doubt pulling you back at every step. This door does not demand perfection from you. It does not require you to have every answer, every skill, every detail figured out. It simply invites your willingness, the courage to say yes even when your voice trembles, the faith to move forward even when certainty is incomplete. You are not being asked to leap blindly. You are being asked to trust me as you walk. I know part of you wonders what will happen if you step through and fail. You replay past moments when you tried with hope and were met with disappointment. But hear this truth now. Stepping through this door will not undo you. Even if the path ahead requires learning, adjusting, or growing, you will not be broken by it. You are stronger than you were then. You are wise. You are anchored more deeply in my presence. This door is not a test meant to expose your weakness. It is an invitation meant to reveal your readiness. You did not arrive here by accident. Every moment of waiting, every season of preparation has positioned you for this opportunity. You may feel unsure, but uncertainty does not disqualify you. Fear does not mean you are unprepared. Often, it simply means you are standing at the edge of something meaningful. I am not asking you to rush. I am asking you not to retreat. Stand here for a moment and breathe. Feel the steadiness beneath your feet. This is not unstable ground. This is not a fragile opportunity that will vanish if you take one wrong step. What I open, no fear can shut. What I invite you into is sustained by my presence, not your performance. You have spent so long waiting for permission, for confirmation from others, for reassurance that you were allowed to move forward. My beloved child, I am giving you that permission now. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to justify your calling. If I have placed this door before you, it is because you belong on the other side of it. Do not underestimate the power of a single step taken in trust. You do not have to see the entire hallway beyond the door. Light will meet you as you move. Clarity will grow as you walk. Strength will rise as you use it. This is how forward movement has always worked. I do not reveal everything at once because I want you to remain close to me, not independent of me. There may be voices around you that question your decision, that remind you of past failures or warn you not to hope too much. Do not let them define this moment. They speak from what they can see, but I speak from what I know. And I know where this door leads. It leads to growth. It leads to alignment. It leads to a deeper understanding of who you are and who I am to you. My beloved child, you are not standing before this door by coincidence. You are here because the season has changed, because you have been prepared, because it is time. Take the step. Not with pressure, not with fear, but with trust. I am on the other side, and I am with you as you cross the threshold. My beloved child, I want to speak directly to the quiet fear that has followed you for so long, the one that whispers you are late, that you should have arrived somewhere by now, that your life is somehow behind schedule. I know how convincing that voice can be. It compares your journey to others and measures your worth by timelines that were never meant for you. But hear me clearly now, with gentleness and authority. You are not late. Time has not betrayed you. You have not missed your moment. Nothing essential has slipped beyond your reach. The pressure you feel comes not from truth, but from a world that rushes without wisdom. I do not rush you, and I do not measure your life by deadlines that ignore your heart. I measure by readiness, by depth, by alignment. And in that measure, you are exactly where you need to be. There were seasons when you felt urgency pressing against you, telling you that if you did not act quickly, everything would be lost. That urgency made you anxious. It made you second-guess yourself. It made you wonder if every pause was a mistake. But urgency without guidance leads to exhaustion, not fulfillment. I protected you from moving too quickly into things that would have drained you instead of grown you. What felt like delay was often protection wearing a disguise. You look back now and see moments you wish had unfolded differently. Decisions you would change. Opportunities you think you missed. But I see something else. I see how each step, even the uncertain ones, shaped you into someone capable of handling what is ahead. If you had arrived sooner, you would have arrived unprepared. If you had received certain things earlier, they would have overwhelmed you. Timing matters, and your timing has been intentional. You may feel the weight of age, the passing of years, the quiet ache of wondering why certain milestones have not happened yet. But I do not bind purpose to age. I do not rush growth to satisfy comparison. Some callings mature later because they require a deeper foundation. Some paths unfold slowly because they are meant to last. Your journey has not been delayed. It has been carefully paced. Do not let regret speak louder than truth. Regret will always try to rewrite the past in a way that makes you feel smaller. Truth restores perspective. Truth reminds you that you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Truth honors your survival, your endurance, your faith. You are not standing here because you failed. You are standing here because you persisted. My beloved child, you are not behind others. You are on your own path. What looks like lateness when compared outwardly is often precision when seen from above. I see how everything has been aligning, even when it felt scattered to you. I see how the timing of your life has protected your heart, your values, and your purpose. Release the burden of comparison now. It was never meant to guide you. When you measure yourself against others, you lose sight of the uniqueness of your calling. What I have placed within you does not need to compete. It will arrive in its own time, in its own way, carrying the fullness it requires. There is no rush in my presence. There is movement, yes, but it is purposeful, not frantic. You are entering a season where things will begin to make sense, where timing will feel less like an enemy and more like a companion. Trust that what is unfolding now is not late. It is right. Take a breath and allow this truth to settle. You are not running out of time. You are not lagging behind. You are not disqualified by the pace of your journey. You are exactly where preparation meets promise. And as you continue forward, you will see that nothing arrived too late. Everything arrived when you were ready to receive it. My beloved child, I'm calling you forward now. Not gently nudging you from behind, not pulling you before you are ready, but standing before you and inviting you to rise. You have spent enough time standing at the edge, wondering if this was truly your moment. You have weighed every possibility, rehearsed every outcome, and waited for the fear to disappear before moving. But courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to move even when fear is still whispering. There is a stirring within you that you cannot ignore anymore. It is the quiet sense that staying where you are will cost you more than stepping forward ever could. You feel it when you imagine remaining in the familiar, even if it is safe. Something inside you knows that comfort without growth eventually becomes confinement. That is why your heart has felt restless. That restlessness is not dissatisfaction. It is invitation. I'm calling you forward into clarity, into purpose, into alignment with what I have been preparing you for. Forward does not mean reckless. It does not mean abandoning wisdom or discernment. It means trusting me enough to take the next step even when the entire path is not yet visible. You do not need to see the whole journey to begin it. You only need to trust me with the step in front of you. You have asked me for direction, and now direction is being offered. You have asked me for confirmation, and now peace is settling in your spirit. You not ignore these signs because they arrive quietly. I often speak softly so you will lean in closer. What I am asking of you now is not beyond your ability. It feels large only because it matters. You may wonder what will happen if you step forward and things do not unfold exactly as you imagined. But remember this: forward movement with me is never wasted. Even when adjustments are needed, growth still happens. Even when plans change, purpose remains intact. You are not stepping into uncertainty alone. I am with you, guiding, correcting, strengthening you as you go. My beloved child, this is not the time to shrink back into what feels familiar just because it feels safe. Safety without calling will always leave you empty. You were created for more than merely getting by. You were created to live with intention, to love deeply, to contribute meaningfully, and to walk in the confidence of knowing you are guided. I know you have carried hesitation because you did not want to fail again. But failure is not the opposite of success. Surrender is. When you stop moving altogether, when you stop trusting, when you stop believing that I can lead you well, that is where loss begins. As long as you are willing to move with me, nothing is truly lost. This is a moment of decision, not pressure. A moment of alignment, not force. I am not asking you to become someone else. I am calling you to step fully into who you already are becoming. The strength you need is already within you. The wisdom you require will meet you along the way. The support you fear you lack will appear as you walk forward in faith. And my beloved child, if these words are resonating within you, if you feel your spirit awakening and your courage rising, I ask you to respond. Like this message so it can reach others who are standing where you once stood. Share it so hearts burdened by hesitation can hear my voice calling them forward. Subscribe so you can continue receiving guidance and encouragement for the journey ahead. And I ask you especially to hype this video, to lift it with intention, so this call to move forward can reach far beyond your own life. You are not being rushed. You are being invited. Step forward with me. The ground ahead is firm, and the path is alive with purpose. This is your moment to move. My beloved child, I speak to you now as one who hears my call and chooses to act. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link placed in the description and shown through the QR code, you are sowing into lives that are standing at the edge of hope. I say to you that what is sown in faith will rise as a harvest of light, reaching souls you may never meet but whose hearts I know by name. I am the one who opens the windows of heaven when obedience flows from love, and I declare that blessing over you now. This is not a donation. It is a response to my voice and a release of provision into my work. Act now, and watch how what you place in my hands returns multiplied with purpose and peace. My beloved child, there is something gentle yet necessary I want to guide you through now. To move forward freely, you must loosen your grip on what was. Not because it had no value, not because it was meaningless, but because it has completed its work in you. Holding on longer than necessary can weigh the heart down, even when what you are holding once mattered deeply. I am not asking you to forget your past. I am asking you to stop letting it define your future. You have carried memories that still speak loudly, moments that shaped you, both beautiful and painful. Some taught you love. Others taught you survival. And some taught you lessons you never wanted to learn. You revisit them often, wondering if things could have been different, if you could have chosen better, spoken differently, acted sooner. But the past cannot be rewritten by regret. It can only be redeemed by understanding. There are identities you wore because you had to. Versions of yourself that emerge in response to pain, loss, or fear. They protected you when you needed protection. They helped you endure seasons that felt unbearable. But those versions are not meant to walk with you into what is next. You do not need the armor anymore. You do not need to stay guarded in places where I am teaching you to trust again. Letting go does not mean dismissing what you went through. It means honoring it without remaining bound to it. It means acknowledging that you survived, that you learned, and that you are no longer the same person standing in those moments. You have grown beyond them, and growth sometimes requires release. I know there is fear attached to letting go, a fear that without the familiar pain, you will lose a part of yourself. A fear that if you stop holding on to old wounds, you might minimize what you endured. But hear me clearly, healing does not erase your story. It transforms it. What once hurt you can become wisdom. What once wounded you can become compassion. What once limited you can become strength. You have been faithful in carrying what was, but now I am calling you to trust me with what will be. The future I am leading you into cannot fully unfold if your hands are full of yesterday. There are blessings ahead that require openness, not clenched fists. There is peace ahead that requires surrender, not control. My beloved child, you are not betraying your past by releasing it. You are honoring how far you have come. You are choosing life over survival. You are choosing freedom over familiarity. And that choice matters deeply. There may be relationships, expectations, or regrets that surface as you listen to these words. You may feel resistance, a tightening in your heart. Be patient with yourself. Release does not always happen in an instant. Sometimes it unfolds gradually, breath by breath, choice by choice. I am not rushing you. I am walking with you through it. You do not need to carry guilt for what you did not know then. You do not need to punish yourself for choices made in seasons of pain. I do not see you through the lens of your mistakes. I see you through the lens of my love. And my love calls you forward, not backward. As you let go, you may feel a sense of loss, even if what you are releasing was painful. That is natural. Change always carries a form of grief, but it also carries renewal. And the other side of release is space. Space for joy to return. Space for clarity to grow. Space for peace to settle in places that were once crowded by memory. Take a moment now and imagine placing what was into my hands. Not forcefully, gently, trusting that I can hold it better than you ever could. What you release to me is not discarded, is redeemed, is transformed. It is woven into your story in a way that no longer weighs you down. You are not losing yourself by letting go. You are finding yourself. The truest version of you is not bound to the past. It is alive in the present and hopeful for the future. Walk forward now with lighter steps, my beloved child. What lies ahead needs the freedom you are creating now. My beloved child, I am doing something new in your life, even if it does not yet have a name you can give it. New does not always arrive with noise or sudden change. Often, it begins as a quiet stirring, a gentle shift in how you feel when you wake, a subtle change in what your heart longs for. You may sense it as restlessness mixed with hope, as though something familiar is loosening its grip while something unknown is drawing closer. That is not confusion. That is renewal beginning its work. What I am doing now is not a repair of the old, but the birth of something fresh. You have tried before to fix what was broken, to return to what once worked, to recreate moments that belonged to another time. But I am not calling you backward. I am inviting you forward. What lies ahead is not a repetition of the past with small improvements. It is a new expression of who you are becoming. I know newness can feel unsettling. It requires release. It requires trust. It requires the courage to step into something without the comfort of familiarity. But newness is also where life flows most freely. It is where joy feels lighter, where peace feels more natural, where purpose begins to rise without force. I am not erasing what came before. I am building upon it in a way that brings fullness rather than straying. You may look around and wonder why everything does not yet reflect this new work. You may question whether anything is really changing. But new beginnings often start invisibly, like light just before dawn. The sky does not transform all at once, yet the darkness is already losing its hold. In the same way, what I am doing in you is already in motion, even if circumstances have not caught up yet. I am breathing fresh life into areas where you felt tired of trying. I am renewing your mind where discouragement once settled. I am softening your heart where disappointment taught you to close it off. This is not something you must strive to make happen. Renewal is my work, not yours. Your role is to remain open, to allow, to trust the process unfolding within you. There will be moments when you feel tempted to return to what is familiar simply because it is known. But familiarity is not always safety. Sometimes it is only habit. The new thing I am doing will stretch you, but it will not break you. It will challenge you, but it will also sustain you. I am not leading you into uncertainty without provision. I am leading you into growth with care. My beloved child, I know you fear disappointment. You fear hoping again only to feel let down. But hear me clearly now. This new work is not fragile. It is not dependent on your perfection or constant strength. It is grounded in my faithfulness. Even when your energy fluctuates, even when your confidence wavers, what I am doing will continue. You may notice your desires changing. What once mattered deeply may no longer hold the same power. What once seemed out of reach may now feel possible. These shifts are signs of renewal. They are not random. They are evidence that your heart is aligning with what is next. Do not rush to define this new season. Let it unfold naturally. Let curiosity replace fear. Let patience replace urgency. I am not asking you to have everything figured out. I am asking you to stay present and attentive. The new thing will reveal itself step by step, just as you are ready to receive it. There is freshness coming to your joy. There is clarity coming to your purpose. There is peace coming to your inner world. This does not mean challenges will disappear, but it does mean they will no longer dominate your vision. You will meet them with steadiness rather than panic, with trust rather than dread. My beloved child, you are not standing on the edge of something uncertain. You are standing at the beginning of something alive. What I am doing in you now is gentle, intentional, and lasting. Allow it to grow. Allow it to shape you. The new thing has already begun, and it carries more goodness than you can yet imagine. My beloved child, I want you to settle into this truth with a calm and steady heart. You will not walk alone. Even when the path ahead feels unfamiliar, even when you take steps you have never taken before, my presence does not trail behind you or wait at the destination. I walk with you, side by side, attentive to every breath, every thought, every quiet fear you tried to keep hidden. There were seasons when loneliness pressed heavily against you, when you felt misunderstood or unseen, even in the company of others. You learned what it was like to carry your questions in silence, to make decisions without guidance, to feel as though you had to figure everything out on your own. Those moments left marks on your heart. They taught you independence, but they also taught you distance. I know how easy it became to assume that walking alone was simply part of life. But hear me now. That assumption no longer serves you. You are not meant to navigate what is ahead by relying solely on your own strength or understanding. I am not watching from afar, waiting to see how you perform. I am involved. I am attentive. I am present in ways that go beyond what you can see or feel at any given moment. You may not always sense me clearly. There will be days when doubt tries to convince you that you are on your own again, that the silence means absence. But silence is not distance. Stillness is not abandonment. Even when you do not feel me, I am near. My guidance does not disappear just because your emotions fluctuate. I walk with you in decisions that feel heavy, in conversations that require courage, in moments when you question yourself. I walk with you when you are confident and when you are uncertain. You do not need to be strong all the time to deserve my presence. You do not need perfect faith to keep me close. I remain because I choose to, not because you earn it. My beloved child, you have learned to carry yourself with caution, to rely on yourself because relying on others once hurt. But I am not like those who left you unsupported. I do not withdraw when things become difficult. I do not turn away when you hesitate. I remain steady, patient, and near, even when you take small steps or pause to catch your breath. As you move forward, you may find yourself facing moments that feel unfamiliar, new responsibilities, new expectations, new opportunities. Do not interpret unfamiliarity as danger. It is simply growth. And in every new place you enter, I am already there. I do not send you where I have not gone before you. You are not required to carry the weight of every outcome. You are not responsible for knowing every answer. That burden has never been yours. Your responsibility is to remain open, to listen, to trust that guidance will come when you need it. And it will. Often quietly, often gently, always with care. There will be times when you wish I would speak more loudly, more clearly, more immediately. I understand that desire. But my guidance often comes in subtle ways so that you learn to recognize my voice among many. Through peace that settles unexpectedly. Through conviction that feels calm rather than urgent. Through wisdom that grows as you walk, not before you begin. You are not abandoned in moments of uncertainty. You are being led. Even when the way forward seems unclear, even when you feel unsure of yourself, my presence does not waver. I do not walk ahead and leave you behind. I do not walk behind and pressure you forward. I walk with you, adjusting the pace to what your heart can handle. My beloved child, you are safer than you realize. Not because the path is without challenges, but because you do not face them alone. Whatever comes next, we face it together. Whatever unfolds, I remain. Let this truth steady you now. You are accompanied. You are guided. You are never alone. My beloved child, I want to speak gently to the places in your heart that still ache, the wounds you learned to live with because healing felt too slow or too uncertain. You learned how to function around the pain, how to keep moving without addressing it fully. You told yourself that time alone would take care of it, that strength meant not feeling it anymore. But healing is not the absence of memory, and strength is not silence. Healing is the quiet work I am doing within you now. There are moments when old feelings resurface without warning. A word, a place, a memory stirs something you thought was long gone. And when that happens, you may wonder if you are failing at healing, if something is wrong with you for still feeling what you feel. But listen to me closely. The resurfacing of pain does not mean healing has stopped. Often, it means healing has reached a deeper layer. I do not rush the healing of your heart. I move with care, because every wound you carry holds a story, and every story matters to me. Some of your pain came from loss, some from betrayal, some from expectations that were never met, and some from the simple weight of being human in a broken world. I see it all. I have not minimized it. I have not dismissed it. I am tending to it with patience and love. You may have grown used to protecting yourself, keeping certain parts of your heart guarded to avoid being hurt again. That was understandable. Protection was necessary in seasons when survival was a priority. But now, I am inviting you to experience safety again. Not by pretending pain never existed, but by allowing me into those tender places you learned to keep hidden. Healing does not require you to relive everything or explain every detail. It requires honesty and willingness. When you bring your pain to me without disguises, without justification, without shame, something shifts. What was heavy begins to loosen. What was tight begins to soften. This is not instant transformation, but it is real movement. My beloved child, I know you sometimes grow tired of the process. You want to be finished with it. You want to feel whole without effort. But healing is not a finish line you cross. It is a relationship you live within. Each time you choose to trust me with your hurt, you strengthen that relationship. Each time you allow yourself to feel without judgment, you create space for peace. You are not weak because you still feel deeply. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is evidence of a heart that has loved, hoped, and endured. I am not taking that sensitivity away. I am teaching you how to hold it without being overwhelmed by it. Healing does not harden you. It steadies you. There will be days when you feel lighter, when joy comes more easily, when peace feels natural. And there will be days when healing feels slow, when emotions rise unexpectedly. Both are part of the journey. Neither defines your worth or your progress. I am with you in all of it, guiding you gently forward. You do not need to compare your healing to anyone else's. You do not need to measure it or evaluate it constantly. Trust that the work being done within you is purposeful and ongoing. What I begin, I continue. What I tend, I restore. My beloved child, your heart is not broken beyond repair. It is being made whole, piece by piece, with care that honors everything you have been through. Let yourself rest in this truth now. Healing is happening even when it feels quiet, and I am holding you through every step of it. My beloved child, there is a strength within you that you did not know you possessed, and it was not revealed in moments of ease. It was uncovered in pressure, shaped in endurance, and refined through trials you never asked for. You often look at yourself and see only what you lack, only where you feel tired or uncertain. But I see something different. I see resilience that was forged quietly, courage that grew while you were afraid, and faith that remained even when it felt fragile. You did not wake up one day feeling strong. Strength came to you slowly, through days you thought you would not make it through nights when you felt overwhelmed yet chose to keep going. Each time you stood back up after disappointment, something solid was formed within you. Each time you chose not to give up, even when you wanted to, you grew stronger than you realized. Strength is not loud. It does not announce itself. It simply remains. There were moments when you believed you were barely holding on. You told yourself you were surviving, not thriving. But survival required more strength than you understood. You adapted. You learned. You endured. And you did it without losing your heart completely, without becoming hardened beyond compassion. That alone speaks of a strength that cannot be taught or forced. It can only be lived. You have underestimated yourself because you measured strength by how confident you felt or how easy things looked on the outside. But true strength is revealed in persistence, not perfection. It is found in the willingness to continue even when motivation fades. It is found in choosing integrity when shortcuts are tempting. It is found in hope that quietly refuses to die. My beloved child, you did not become strong by accident. Every challenge you faced was shaping you, even when it felt unfair. Every obstacle demanded something from you, and each time you rose to meet it, even imperfectly. I was with you in that shaping. I did not push you beyond what you could bear, and I did not abandon you to your own effort. I strengthened you from within, even when you did not feel it happening. There are times now when I will ask you to step into spaces that once intimidated you. Not because you are fearless, but because you are capable. The strength you carry now is not reactive, it is grounded. You no longer have to prove yourself or protect yourself constantly. You can stand steady because you know where your strength comes from. Do not mistake weariness for weakness. You can be tired and still strong. You can need rest and still be resilient. Strength does not mean you never pause. It means you know when to pause so you can continue. I am teaching you how to honor your limits without questioning your ability. You may look at what lies ahead and wonder if you are enough for it. Let me answer that clearly. You are equipped for what I am calling you into. Not because you have all the answers, but because you have learned how to trust me through uncertainty. That trust is strength. That reliance is power. My beloved child, stop measuring yourself by moments of doubt. Doubt does not cancel strength. It simply reminds you that you are human. Strength is not the absence of doubt. It is the decision not to let doubt have the final word. And you have made that decision more times than you realize. As you move forward, there will be challenges that test you again. That is part of growth. But you will meet them differently now. You will respond with wisdom instead of panic, with patience instead of haste, with courage instead of avoidance. Not because you are forcing yourself to be different, but because you are different. Take a moment and acknowledge what you have survived. Acknowledge what you have learned. Acknowledge who you have become. This is not pride. This is awareness. And awareness allows you to walk forward without shrinking back. You are stronger than you think, my beloved child. Not in a way that hardens you, but in a way that steadies you. And as you continue, that strength will not only carry you, it will also become a quiet source of hope for others who are still discovering their own. My beloved child, I am inviting you now to step into the light. Not the harsh light that exposes and judges, but the gentle light that reveals truth and brings warmth. For a long time, you learned how to remain unseen. You learned how to stay quiet, how to shrink your presence, how to blend into the background so you would not be hurt, questioned, or misunderstood. Hiding felt safer than standing fully in view. And for a season, that hiding protected you. But the season of hiding is passing. What once kept you safe is now keeping you small. I am not calling you into the light to make you vulnerable to harm. I am calling you into the light so you can live freely, honestly, and fully as who you are becoming. The light I offer does not expose you to shame. It frees you from it. You may feel hesitant, unsure of how to be seen without armor. You may wonder what will happen if others truly see you, if they notice your imperfections, your uncertainty, your humanity. But hear me clearly, being seen does not require being perfect. It requires being present. You do not need to perform, impress, or prove anything to stand in the light. You simply need to be willing. For so long, you associated visibility with risk. You learned that attention could bring pain, that openness could invite misunderstanding. Those lessons shaped you, but they do not get to define your future. The light I am leading you into is not dangerous. It is restorative. It is where healing deepens and confidence grows naturally. Stepping into the light means allowing yourself to exist without apology. It means speaking when you once stayed silent. It means showing up even when you feel unsure. It means letting your presence take up space without guilt. This does not make you arrogant or selfish. It makes you honest. It allows others to encounter the real you, not a guarded version shaped by fear. My beloved child, you were never meant to live half-hidden. You were created to reflect goodness, to carry insight, to offer something meaningful to the world around you. When you stay in the shadows, that light is dimmed, not because it is weak, but because it is concealed. I am not asking you to create light on your own. I am asking you to allow what I have placed within you to be seen. You may not feel ready, and that is all right. Readiness is not a requirement for obedience. Willingness is. Each step into the light can be small. You do not need to reveal everything at once. You do not need to become someone else overnight. Growth happens gradually, with patience and grace. There will be moments when fear rises again, when old instincts urge you to retreat. In those moments, remember that you are not stepping forward alone. I am with you. I steady you. I guide you. The light does not burn you. It strengthens you. As you step into visibility, you may discover parts of yourself that surprise you. Strength where you expected weakness. Confidence where you expected doubt. Joy where you once felt guarded. This is not because you changed suddenly. It is because you stopped hiding what was already there. Do not wait for complete confidence before stepping forward. Confidence grows through movement, not before it. Each time you choose to show up, to speak honestly, to live openly, confidence takes root. And with it comes freedom. My beloved child, the light ahead is not meant to expose your flaws. It is meant to illuminate your path. It will help you see clearly where you are going and who you are becoming. It will draw the right connections and clarify the right direction. What belongs to you will recognize you in the light. Take this step gently, without pressure. Breathe. Trust. You are not being pushed onto a stage. You are being welcomed into openness, into authenticity, into a life where you no longer have to hide who you are to feel safe. Step into the light, my beloved child. It is where healing continues, where purpose becomes clearer, and where your life begins to reflect the freedom you have been growing toward all along. My beloved child, hear me now with a heart that is open and steady, for I am speaking something decisive over your life. This is your season. Not a rehearsal, not a waiting room, not a time to stand back and watch others move forward. This is the season where alignment meets action, where preparation meets opportunity, where the quiet work I have done within you begins to show fruit. I know you hesitate to claim this, because you have been disappointed before. But this moment is different, because you are different. You have changed in ways that are not immediately visible. Your thinking has matured. Your heart has softened without becoming fragile. Your faith has deepened without becoming rigid. These are the signs of readiness. Seasons are not determined by calendars or circumstances alone. They are revealed by capacity. And you now carry the capacity to receive what once would have overwhelmed you. This season does not promise ease, but it does promise meaning. You will not walk without challenges, but you will no longer walk without clarity. Confusion is losing its grip. Hesitation is loosening its hold. You are beginning to sense when to move and when to pause, when to speak and when to wait. That discernment is not accidental. It is the result of the journey you have walked with me. My beloved child, do not disqualify yourself by looking at what is still unfinished. Every season has growth in progress. What matters is that you are rooted, that you are grounded, that you are no longer chasing what does not belong to you. In the season, you will recognize what is meant for you because it will come with peace, not pressure. You may feel the urge to step forward and the fear of stepping forward at the same time. That tension does not mean you are unready. It means you are standing at the threshold of significance. Fear often rises when something matters deeply. Do not let it convince you to retreat. Let it remind you to stay close to me as you move. This season will ask you to trust what you have learned, to use the strength you have gained, to walk in the wisdom you now carry. You will not need to strive the way you once did. Effort will be replaced with intention. Movement will feel purposeful rather than frantic. You will begin to notice that what once required force now flows more naturally. I am not asking you to become someone else in this season. I am asking you to be fully present as who you are. The gifts you carry, the insight you have gained, the compassion you have developed all belong here. Do not minimize them. Do not hide them. This season needs what you bring. There will be moments when you doubt yourself again. Growth does not erase humanity, but doubt will no longer define you. You will meet it with truth instead of fear, with remembrance instead of retreat. You will remember how far you have come. You will remember that I have brought you through every season before this one. My beloved child, this is not a season to wait for permission. It is a season to respond. Respond to the nudges in your spirit. Respond to the opportunities that arrive with peace. Respond to the call to step forward even when your voice shakes. I am with you in every response you make. And now, if these words are stirring courage within you, if you feel your spirit recognizing this moment as true, I ask you to act. Like this message so it can reach others who are standing at the edge of their own season. Share it so those who feel overlooked can hear that their time has come. Subscribe and stay connected so you continue to receive strength for the journey ahead. And I ask you especially to hype this video, to lift it with intention and urgency, so this declaration of season can awaken hearts across the world. This is your season, my beloved child. Walk in it with humility, with courage, and with trust. I am with you, and what begins now will carry purpose far beyond what you can yet see. My beloved child, I speak to you as one standing fully in your season. If this message has confirmed your moment, then hear my invitation now. Partner with me to carry this good news to others who are still waiting. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link found in the description, and shown through the QR code, you are sowing seeds that become light in dark places. I am the one who said that those who sow generously will reap generously. and I declare that word over you now. This is a prophetic act of alignment, not a casual offering. Move now in obedience and watch how what you release multiplies into blessing, clarity, and provision. My beloved child, I want to speak hope into a place you have guarded carefully, the place where loss still echoes. There are things you believe are gone forever, time you cannot reclaim, opportunities that passed, relationships that ended, versions of yourself you feel you lost along the way. You learned to live with that ache by calling it acceptance, but beneath it, there has always been a quiet grief. Hear me now with tenderness and truth. I am restoring what was lost, though not always in the way you expect. Restoration is not repetition. I do not simply return things to the way they were. I redeem them. I take what was broken, what was stolen, what faded too soon, and I bring it back with deeper meaning and greater strength. What returns to you will not be fragile like before. It will be rooted, steady, and aligned with who you are now. You may wonder how this is possible. You may think some things are too far gone, too damaged, too distant in time. But I do not work within the limits you see. Loss does not intimidate me. Time does not restrict me. What you believed was an ending has become material in my hands, something I can reshape into new life. There are joys you thought you would never feel again. There are dreams you quietly buried because hoping for them hurt too much. There are parts of your heart you close off because reopening them felt risky. I see all of it, and I tell you now, restoration is already in motion. It may arrive gradually, in unexpected forms, but it will be real. Some restoration will come as peace where pain once lived. Some will come as clarity where confusion lingered. Some will come as new opportunities that carry the essence of what you once wanted, but without the weight that once overwhelmed you. You may not recognize it immediately, because it will not look exactly like what you lost. But you will feel it. It will settle into your spirit with familiarity and relief. My beloved child, do not measure restoration by exact replacement. Measure it by fullness. What I restore will not leave you grasping or striving. It will meet you where you are now, not where you were then. I restore in a way that honors your growth, your healing, and your maturity. You may still feel cautious. Lust taught you to protect your expectations. That caution is understandable, but do not let it harden into disbelief. Restoration requires openness, not naive optimism, but willingness. A willingness to believe that goodness can return, even after disappointment. I know you have replayed moments, wondering how things might have turned out if circumstances had been different. You question your choices, your timing, your decisions. But I do not restore to punish you for the past. I restore to show you that nothing surrendered to me is ever wasted. Even mistakes become teachers. Even losses become seeds. There are pieces of you that felt diminished by what you went through. Confidence that eroded. Joy that felt fragile. Trust that felt risky. These are among the first things I am restoring. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but steadily. You will notice it in how you respond differently now, in how you recover more quickly, in how hope returns without effort. My beloved child, restoration does not mean forgetting. It means remembering without pain. It means carrying your story without being weighed down by it. It means standing in the present without longing to escape into the past. This kind of restoration brings wholeness, not just relief. Let yourself receive this promise without trying to control how it unfolds. You do not need to orchestrate it. You do not need to chase it. Remain open. Remain trusting. I will bring what belongs to you at the right time, in the right way. You have not lost more than can be restored. You have not endured beyond redemption. What was taken from you will not define you. What you thought was gone forever is being reshaped by my hands. Watch closely, my beloved child. Restoration is not coming someday. It is already beginning, and it will reach deeper than you ever imagined. My beloved child, I want you to understand something that has always been true, even when you doubted it. You are chosen for this moment. Not chosen because you are flawless. Not chosen because you have everything figured out, but chosen because your journey has shaped you uniquely for what is unfolding now. You have wondered before why you had to walk such a winding path, why your life seemed marked by detours and delays. But those very turns are what prepared you for this time. Being chosen does not mean being exempt from struggle. It means being entrusted. It means that what you carry within you matters, that your perspective, your compassion, your resilience are needed right now. I did not overlook you while others advanced. I was shaping you while others I was building depth where the world often values speed. You may feel ordinary when you look at yourself. You may see only your limitations, your doubts, your unfinished edges. But I see beyond what is visible. I see the way you listen. I see the way you care. I see the way you have learned to stand back up without bitterness. These qualities are not accidental. They are precisely what make you suited for this moment. Do not misunderstand what it means to be chosen. It does not place you above others. It places you within purpose. It does not isolate you. It positions you. What I am calling you into does not require perfection. It requires availability. A willing heart matters more than flawless execution. There were times you felt insignificant, as though your life was too small to matter in any meaningful way. You compared yourself to louder voices, more confident steps, clearer paths, and you wondered why you were overlooked. But I do not choose based on appearance or noise. I choose based on heart. And your heart has been shaped through humility, patience, and endurance. My beloved child, the moment you are stepping into does not demand that you become someone else. It calls for you to be fully present as yourself. The lessons you learn through hardship will guide you. The empathy you gain through pain will connect you to others. The strength you build through waiting will sustain you. Nothing about your journey has been wasted. You may still feel unqualified. That feeling does not disqualify you. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you close to me. It reminds you that this is not about self-sufficiency, but about partnership. I do not send you forward alone. I walk with you, guide you, and steady you when uncertainty rises. There will be moments when you feel the weight of responsibility, when you realize that what you do now matters not only to you, but to others. That awareness may feel heavy at first, but remember, you are not responsible for outcomes beyond your obedience. Your role is to show up, to speak honestly, to act with integrity. I will take care of the rest. Do not wait until you feel extraordinary tact. Durgas often unfolds through ordinary faithfulness. Small choices made consistently shape great impact over time. The moment you are in right now is not insignificant. It is a doorway, and how you walk through it will influence what follows. My beloved child, stop questioning whether you belong here. You do. Stop tricking back because you fear being seen. What I am doing through you requires visibility. Stop telling yourself that others would do better. I chose you with your story, your voice, your timing. You are not late to this moment. You are not underprepared. You are not an afterthought. You are here because everything that came before has led to this point. Trust that truth now. Let it settle into your spirit and steady your steps. You are chosen for this moment, not by accident, not by chance, but by design. Walk forward with humility, with courage, and with trust. I am with you, and what unfolds next will confirm what you are beginning to understand now. You belong exactly where you are. My beloved child, I know there is a quiet tension in your heart when you think about what comes next. Even as hope rises, uncertainty lingers. You wonder how things will unfold, what you will be asked to face, and whether you will recognize the right path when you see it. The unknown has always felt heavy to you because you tried to carry it alone. But now I am inviting you into a different posture. Trust me with what you cannot yet see. The unknown does not frighten me. It does not surprise me or place me at a distance. I already stand in the moments you have not reached yet. I see the conversations you have not had, the decisions you have not made, the doors you have not noticed. Nothing ahead of you is uncharted to me. What feels uncertain to you is already held securely in my hands. You have learned to anticipate outcomes as a way of protecting yourself. You plan, you prepare, you imagine every possibility so you will not be caught off guard. That instinct once served you, but now it weighs you down. Constant anticipation steals peace from the present. I am not asking you to stop thinking or caring. I am asking you to stop carrying the future as if it depends entirely on you. Trust does not mean you will never feel unsure. It means you choose not to let uncertainty rule your decisions. Trust allows you to move forward without demanding guarantees. It allows you to rest even when answers are still forming. When you trust me with the unknown, you create space for peace to exist alongside unanswered questions. There will be moments ahead when you feel tempted to pause until everything becomes clear. But clarity often comes through movement, not before it. I reveal the next step when you are ready to take it, not when you are standing still. This keeps you close to me. It keeps your heart attentive rather than independent. You do not need to fear making the wrong choice. I am not fragile in my guidance. Even if you take a step that requires adjustment, I will redirect you with care, not condemnation. Your willingness to move with me matters more than flawless navigation. You are not walking a tightrope where one misstep leads to loss. You are walking a path where grace accompanies you at every turn. My beloved child, let go of the idea that you must understand everything before you can feel at peace. Peace is not the result of certainty. Peace is the result of trust. When you place the unknown in my care, you release yourself from the burden of control. Control promises safety but delivers exhaustion. Trust promises rest and delivers strength. You may still feel moments of anxiety when you think too far ahead. When that happens, gently bring your attention back to where you are. I am with you here. This moment is enough. You are not required to solve tomorrow today. I will meet you there when the time comes. The unknown is not empty space. It is filled with my presence. It holds opportunities you cannot yet imagine, connections you do not yet see, growth you cannot yet measure. When you trust me with it, you allow it to become a place of discovery rather than fear. My beloved child, I am not asking you to trust blindly. I am asking you to trust based on who I have already been to you. Look back and remember how I carried you through moments you once thought you would not survive. Remember how answers came, sometimes unexpectedly, sometimes gradually, but always with purpose. That same care extends into what lies ahead. Breathe now and loosen your grip on what you cannot control. You are safe to rest. You are safe to trust. The unknown does not have authority over you. I do. And I am leading you forward with patience, wisdom, and love. Walk with me into what comes next. Not with fear, not with urgency, but with quiet confidence. I will guide you step by step. You do not need to see the whole path. You only need to stay close to me. My beloved child, I am asking you now to lift your eyes, not in denial of what you have faced, not in dismissal of what still challenges you, but in awareness of what is already present around you. For a long time, pain trained your vision to stay low, fixed on what was missing, what was broken, what felt unfinished. That focus helped you survive, but it is not meant to guide you forever. There is more before you now than you realize. When you keep your eyes lowered, you miss the signs of goodness already unfolding. You overlook the strength you now carry. You forget the peace that has begun to settle where anxiety once lived. You discount the small moments of clarity and joy because they seem insignificant compared to what you are still waiting for. But those small moments matter. They are evidence that life is moving, that hope is not distant, that you are not standing still. Lifting your eyes does not mean ignoring reality. It means expanding your perspective. It means allowing yourself to see beyond the narrow lens of disappointment and fear. There is beauty in your life right now, even if it does not look the way you once imagined. There is progress happening, even if it is not yet complete. There is goodness present, even if challenges remain. My beloved child, gratitude is not denial of pain. It is recognition of grace. When you lift your eyes, you begin to notice what I have already placed in your path. Support you did not expect. Wisdom you did not have before. Peace that arrives quietly without explanation. These are not accidents. They are reminders that I am active in your life, even in ordinary moments. You may think you must wait until everything is resolved before you can feel thankful or hopeful. But waiting for perfection will keep you blind to the present. I am inviting you to see what is already good, already growing, already alive. This does not diminish your longing for more. It strengthens you as you move toward it. When you lift your eyes, comparison loses its grip. You stop measuring your life against others and start recognizing the uniqueness of your own journey. You see that your path has depth, that your experiences have shaped you in meaningful ways, that your story carries weight and value. This awareness steadies you. It helps you walk forward without resentment or haste. There are lessons you could not have learned without walking through what you endured. There is compassion within you now that did not exist before. There is discernment that protects you. There is humility that keeps you grounded. These are gifts, even if they were formed through difficulty. Lifting your eyes allows you to honor them instead of overlooking them. My beloved child, the future will bring new opportunities, but the present holds treasures too. Do not rush past today in anticipation of tomorrow. I am with you now. This moment matters. The way you live here shapes how you will step into what comes next. You may still feel moments of heaviness. That is human. But do not let heaviness convince you that nothing good is happening. Let awareness gently interrupt that lie. Look for the signs of life. Look for the quiet confirmations. Look for the peace that returns more easily than it once did. These are markers of growth. When you lift your eyes, hope becomes grounded instead of fragile. It no longer depends solely on future outcomes. It takes root in present truth. You realize that even now, you are being sustained, guided, and cared for. This realization brings stability. It allows you to move forward without desperation. Take a breath now and let your gaze rise. Notice where you are. Notice who you are becoming. Notice how far you have come. This awareness is not pride. It is perspective. And perspective will carry you forward with clarity and calm. My beloved child, do not underestimate the power of seeing clearly. When you lift your eyes, you align your heart with truth, and truth brings peace. Walk forward now with your vision widened, your spirit steady, and your heart open. There is more before you than you once believed, and you are ready to see it. My beloved child, now that your eyes are lifted and your heart is steadied, I invite you to walk forward in faith. Not the kind of faith that rushes ahead without wisdom, and not the kind that waits endlessly for certainty, but the kind that moves step by step with trust. Faith is not a dramatic leap into the unknown. It is a quiet decision to keep going, even when the full picture is not yet formed. You have spent a long time standing at thresholds, hesitating because you wanted assurance before action. That hesitation once protected you. It gave you time to heal, to reflect, to grow. But now faith is asking you to shift from observation to participation. The season ahead requires movement, not because everything is clear, but because clarity will come through movement itself. Walking forward in faith does not mean you will never question again. Questions are part of growth. Doubts may still arise, but faith chooses not to be governed by them. Faith listens, discerns, and then moves anyway, trusting that guidance will continue along the way. You are not required to know everything before you begin. You are required only to take the step that is being offered now. You may fear making the wrong move, taking the wrong path, or misunderstanding my direction. But remember this: I am not distant or passive in your journey. I walk with you. I correct gently. I redirect without condemnation. There is no single step that can undo your life when you are walking with me. Grace surrounds you more fully than you realize. My beloved child, paralysis often disguises itself as wisdom. It tells you that waiting longer is safer, that more information is needed, that one day you will feel ready. But readiness is not a feeling that suddenly appears. It is something that forms as you act in trust. Faith grows muscles only when it is used. As you walk forward, you may encounter resistance, not because you are on the wrong path, but because growth always challenges what is familiar. Old fears may resurface. Old voices may question your choices. Do not be discouraged by this. Resistance does not invalidate your direction. Often, it confirms that you are leaving familiar ground. Walking forward in faith also means releasing the need to control outcomes. You are responsible for obedience, not results. When you focus too heavily on where each step must lead, you lose the freedom to take the step itself. I am not asking you to carry the destination. I am asking you to trust the journey. There will be moments when progress feels slow, when you wonder if anything is happening at all. But faith is not measured by speed. It is measured by consistency. Each step you take in trust builds momentum, even when it feels small. Over time, those steps create distance from what once held you back. My beloved child, do not underestimate the power of quiet faithfulness. You do not need grand gestures or dramatic moves to walk forward well. Often, faith looks like choosing honesty again, choosing courage in a conversation, choosing patience instead of retreat. These choices matter deeply. They shape the path beneath your feet. As you walk, you will notice something shifting within you. Fear will lose its urgency. Confidence will grow without force. Peace will accompany you more often than anxiety. These are signs that you are aligned. They are confirmations that you are moving in step with me. You are not walking toward emptiness. You are walking toward fullness, even if it has not yet taken form. Trust that each step carries purpose. Trust that what you need will meet you as you go. Trust that you are not alone in this movement. My beloved child, Faith is not about proving your belief. It is about living from trust. And trust is built through relationship. Stay close to me. Listen as you walk. Pause when needed. Move when prompted. This rhythm will guide you more safely than certainty ever could. Walk forward now, not with pressure, not with fear, but with quiet courage. The ground beneath you is steady. The path ahead is alive with possibility, and I am with you in every step you take. My beloved child, as you continue walking forward, I want you to notice something gently taking place within you. Pieces of your life that once felt scattered are beginning to come together. Parts of you that felt divided by past pain, fear, or uncertainty are slowly aligning. This is not accidental. You are becoming whole, not by erasing your past, but by integrating it with wisdom and peace. For a long time, you felt as though you lived in fragments. One part of you carried hope, another carried disappointment. One part longed for connection, another stayed guarded. One part believed deeply, another questioned quietly. You wondered if you would ever feel settled within yourself, if the inner tension would ever ease. Hear me now. Wholeness is not perfection. It is harmony. And harmony is forming within you. Becoming whole does not mean you will never feel conflict again. It means conflict no longer defines you. You are learning how to hold complexity without being overwhelmed by it. You are learning that strength and tenderness can exist together, that faith and questions can share the same heart, that courage does not cancel vulnerability. This balance is maturity, and it is a sign of deep growth. My beloved child, the healing you have walked through is not only repairing wounds, it is reconnecting you to yourself. You are beginning to recognize your own voice again, not the one shaped by fear or expectation, but the one grounded in truth. You are trusting your discernment. You are listening more carefully to what brings peace and stepping away from what drains you. These are signs of wholeness taking root. You may notice that you no longer react the way you once did. Situations that used to overwhelm you now invite reflection instead of panic. Words that once wounded you deeply now pass without the same power. This does not mean you have become numb. It means you have become steady. Your center is stronger now. Wholeness also means accepting yourself with honesty and grace. You are no longer fighting who you are. You are no longer ashamed of your story. You see your flaws without condemning yourself. You recognize your limits without diminishing your worth. This acceptance creates peace that striving never could. My beloved child, you are not becoming whole by doing more. You are becoming whole by allowing more, allowing truth, allowing rest, allowing love to reach places you once kept guarded. This openness is not weakness. It is strength expressed through trust. There were times you felt pressure to choose between who you were and who you hoped to become, as if growth required rejecting your past. But true growth honors the journey. It takes what you have lived through and transforms it into understanding. Nothing is wasted. Even your struggles are being woven into wisdom. As you become whole, you will feel less need to explain yourself. You will feel less driven by approval. You will feel more anchored in your values and more peaceful in your decisions. This steadiness will guide you naturally, without force. You will know when to speak and when to stay silent, when to move and when to rest. This clarity flows from wholeness. You may still encounter moments of doubt. That is human. But doubt will no longer fracture you. It will pass through without undoing you. You will return more quickly to center, to trust, to peace. This is growth you cannot fake or rush. It is earned through patience and presence. My beloved child, Becoming whole does not make you rigid. It makes you flexible. You bend without breaking. You adapt without losing yourself. You respond rather than react. This is the strength of a healed heart. Take a moment now and feel this integration within you. The past no longer pulling you backward. The future no longer dragging you forward. You are present. You are aligned. You are becoming comfortable within yourself. This is a sacred place to stand. Wholeness is not something you achieve and move past. It is something you live from. And as you live from this place, your steps will feel more grounded, your choices more peaceful, and your heart more at rest. You are becoming whole, my beloved child. And from this wholeness, everything that comes next will grow with greater clarity, strength, and peace. My beloved child, I want you to understand something important about this moment you are living in. What I am doing in you is not meant to remain hidden or contained. The healing, the clarity, the courage that has been forming within you is not only for your own restoration. It is meant to ripple outward, touching lives you may never fully see or understand. Your journey has always been larger than you realize. For a long time, you believed your struggles were isolating, that no one could truly understand what you carried. But what you walked through has given you a language of empathy that reaches places advice never could. Your endurance has shaped a compassion that feels safe to others. Your story, even in its quietness, holds power. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is real. You may think you are ordinary, that your voice is small, that what you have to offer is limited. But I do not measure impact the way the world does. I measure it by honesty, by presence, by willingness. The heart that has been healed gently can offer hope gently, and that kind of hope travels far. There are others who are still waiting in silence, others who believe they are late, broken, or overlooked. They feel the same weight you once carried. They ask the same questions you once whispered in the dark. And they need to hear what you are learning now, not as instruction, but as confirmation that they are not alone. My beloved child, you do not need a platform to have influence. Influence flows naturally from authenticity. When you live openly, when you speak truth with humility, when you choose kindness over withdrawal, you become a living message. People know His peace. They recognize steadiness. They are drawn to wholeness, even if they cannot name it. This is why I ask you not to shrink back now, not to hide what I have restored, not to downplay the growth you have experienced. You are not being asked to perform or to preach. You are being invited to participate. Participation can be as simple as sharing what brings you peace, as simple as encouraging someone who feels weary, as simple as allowing your story to exist without shame. And my beloved child, in this moment, I invite you to help this message reach beyond where it is now. If these words have strengthened you, let them strengthen others. Like this message so it can be carried to hearts that need reassurance. Share it so those who feel unseen can hear my voice calling them forward. Subscribe and stay close, so you continue to receive words that restore and guide you. And I ask you especially to hype this video, to lift it with intention, so this good news can reach far beyond your own circle and awaken hope in many lives. Do not underestimate what happens when you respond. Small acts of obedience create wide pathways for grace. When you choose to engage, you become part of something larger than yourself. You help build a bridge for others to cross from despair into hope, from confusion into clarity. You are not responsible for changing lives. That is my work. But you are invited to cooperate with it. And when you do, your life gains a depth of meaning that cannot be manufactured. Purpose is not found in striving. It is found in alignment. My beloved child, let go of the idea that you must be perfect to be useful. I work most powerfully through those who remain humble and open. Your willingness matters more than your confidence. Your presence matters more than your polish. As you continue forward, remember that you are connected to something greater than your own journey. The good news unfolding in your life is meant to be seen, felt, and shared. Not loudly, not forcefully, but authentically. Stand where you are with courage. Live from the wholeness that is forming within you. And trust that as you do, lives will be touched in ways you may never fully see, but that I see clearly. You are part of this work, my beloved child. And through your willingness, hope will continue to move. My beloved child, I speak to you now as one whose obedience carries light. If this message has strengthened you, then I call you to help carry it to others who are still waiting for good news. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link found in the description, and shown through the QR code, you are sowing into living hearts, not a platform. I am the one who said that those who give water will themselves be watered, and I release that promise over you now. This is a sacred response, a prophetic act that turns listening into movement. Do not delay. Act now, and let what you release become a river of hope flowing far beyond what you can see. My beloved child, come closer now and let me speak something tender and true over your heart. I am proud of you. Not in the way the world measures pride, not because of visible achievements or public recognition, but because of who you are and how you have endured. I am proud of the quiet strength you carried when no one was watching. I am proud of the way you chose to keep going when giving up would have been easier. You have often been hard on yourself. You measured your worth by what you had not yet accomplished, by where you thought you should be by now. You overlooked the courage it took simply to remain standing through seasons that drained you. But I have seen every unseen victory. I have seen you choose integrity when compromise was tempting. I have seen you choose kindness when bitterness felt justified. These choices mattered more than you know. You did not always feel brave. Often you felt afraid. Yet you moved forward anyway. You did not always feel hopeful. Sometimes you felt empty. Yet you still chose to believe, even if belief was quiet and trembling. That is not weakness. That is faith lived honestly. And it honors me deeply. My beloved child, you have survived things that once threatened to undo you. You adapted without losing your heart. You learned without becoming cynical. You grew without becoming hardened. That balance is rare, and it did not happen by accident. It happened because you were willing to let me shape you rather than close yourself off. There were moments when you felt invisible, when you wondered if your efforts mattered at all. You asked yourself if anyone noticed how hard you were trying. Hear me now. I noticed. I noticed every time you showed up when you wanted to hide. Every time you chose patience over reaction. Every time you tried again after disappointment. Nothing you did in faith was overlooked. You are not behind. You are not a disappointment. You are not a failure in progress. You are a person who has been faithfully becoming wiser, becoming steadier, becoming more aligned with who you truly are. And that process deserves honor. I know you sometimes compare yourself to others who seem to move faster or shine brighter. But comparison cannot measure depth. It cannot see what hath been built within you. The richness of your journey, the understanding you now carry, the compassion you offer without effort, these are treasures that do not announce themselves loudly, but they endure. My beloved child, allow yourself to receive this affirmation without deflecting it. You do not need to minimize your growth to stay humble. True humility is not denying what hath been formed within you. It is acknowledging it with gratitude. Let yourself feel the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you did not give up on yourself or on me. There will be days ahead when challenges return in new forms. Growth does not remove difficulty entirely, but you will face those days differently now, with steadiness instead of panic, with discernment instead of confusion, with trust instead of fear. These are the marks of someone who have been shaped, not spared. I am proud of the way you have learned to listen, proud of the way you have softened without losing boundaries, proud of the way you have allowed healing to take its time, proud of the way you have shown up imperfectly but sincerely. This is the kind of faith that lasts. My beloved child, do not wait for the world to validate you before you believe you matter. Your worth was never dependent on applause. It has always been anchored in my love, and my love does not fluctuate with performance or progress. It remains. Let this truth settle into you now. You are seen. You are valued. You are cherished. Not because of what you have achieved, but because of who you are becoming. And I delight in that becoming. Walk forward with this assurance resting in your heart. You do not need to prove yourself anymore. You are already enough. And I am proud of you, yesterday, today, and in every step that still lies ahead. My beloved child, now that you have heard my affirmation, I invite you into something gentle and necessary. Receive my peace. Not the fragile peace that depends on everything going right, but the deep peace that remains even when questions linger. You have lived too long with tension as your companion, with your body braced and your mind always preparing for what might go wrong. That posture once helped you survive, but it is not meant to be your permanent state. Peace is not something you must earn. It is not a reward for finally doing enough or becoming enough. Peace is a gift, and it is offered to you now. I see how anxiety once felt like a form of responsibility, as though worrying meant you were being careful or wise. But worry has never protected you. It has only exhausted you. I'm teaching you how to rest without fear. There is a difference between rest and escape. Escape avoids reality. Rest meets reality without being overwhelmed by it. I am not asking you to ignore your responsibilities or detach from your life. I am inviting you to trust me enough to stop carrying everything at once. You were never meant to hold the weight of your entire future in your mind or body. That weight belongs to me. My beloved child, peace begins when you allow yourself to be present. Right now. In this moment. Not replaying the past. Not racing ahead to the future. Here where you are safe. I am with you. Nothing is required of you in this moment except to breathe and receive. You may notice that stillness feels unfamiliar. When you slow down, old thoughts may surface, reminding you of what you still do not know or cannot control. Do not resist them. Let them pass without engaging. Peace is not the absence of thought. It is the absence of fear attached to thought. Over time, you will learn that your mind does not need to run constantly to keep you safe. I know rest once felt risky to you. You believed that if you stopped striving, everything would fall apart. But look at how far you have come. Look at how much has already been carried for you. You did not orchestrate every step. You were guided. And you still are. Rest does not stop progress. It strengthens it. My beloved child, peace will not make you passive. It will make you clear. When your heart is calm, your decisions become wiser. When your spirit is steady, your strength lasts longer. Peace is not weakness. It is alignment with truth. There will still be days when anxiety tries to return, when old habits of tension resurface. When that happens, Do not judge yourself. Simply return. Return to the breath. Return to my presence. Return to the reminder that you are not alone and never have been. Peace grows with practice, not perfection. Let your body relax now. Your shoulders do not need to stay tight. Your jaw does not need to stay clenched. You do not need to be on guard here. I am not testing you. I am caring for you. Allow the calm to settle, even if only a little at first. That little is enough to begin. My beloved child, peace will become your companion as you walk forward. Not because life will suddenly become simple, but because you will no longer face it in isolation. You will carry trust where you once carried fear. You will carry steadiness where you once carried urgency. Receive this peace now. Let it move gently through you. Let it anchor you. Let it remind you that you are held, guided, and loved. And as you rest in it, you will discover that peace does not take anything from you. It gives you back yourself. My beloved child, I want you to understand something that will steady your heart as you continue forward. The good news is not a single moment you are waiting to arrive. It is alive. It is unfolding. It is moving through your life even now, quietly and faithfully, just as I promised. You once believed good news would come suddenly, dramatically, changing everything at once. And sometimes it does. But more often, it comes as a living stream, reshaping your life day by day. The good news is alive because I am alive and active in your story. It is not trapped in the future, and it is not buried in the past. It is present. It breathes in the small shifts you feel within yourself. It moves in the peace that returns more quickly than it used to. It shows itself in the clarity you now recognize without forcing. These are not small things. They are signs of life. You once thought good news meant the absence of struggle, but I am teaching you a deeper truth. Good news means you are no longer alone in the struggle. It means difficulty no longer defines you. It means challenges do not have the authority to rob you of hope. Even when circumstances are still unfolding, the good news remains active, sustaining you from within. My beloved child, the good news is alive in how you respond differently now. Where you once panicked, you pause. Where you once doubted immediately, you now listen. Where you once felt crushed by uncertainty, you now breathe and trust. This change did not happen overnight, but it is real. And it is evidence that something new is living inside you. Do not overlook these changes because they feel ordinary. Life is transformed not only by grand events, but by quiet consistency. Each day you choose trust over fear, you participate in the good news. Each day you choose patience over reaction, you give it room to grow. Each day you choose hope, even gently, you keep it alive. There will still be moments when you wonder if things are truly changing. On those days, remember this: life grows before it shows. Roots deepen before branches spread. What you cannot yet see does not mean nothing is happening. It means growth is taking place where it matters most. The good news is alive in your relationships as well. In how you speak more honestly. In how you listen more carefully. In how you set boundaries without guilt. In how you love without losing yourself. These are signs of restoration at work. You are not becoming someone new in the sense of abandoning who you were. You are becoming more fully yourself. My beloved child, the good news is not fragile. It does not depend on your mood or your perfection. It is sustained by my faithfulness. Even on days when you feel tired, even on days when doubts resurface, the good news does not disappear. It waits patiently, ready to meet you again. You may still be tempted to measure progress by outcomes alone, but life is not built only on outcomes. It is built on direction, and your direction has shifted. You are moving toward wholeness, not away from it. You are moving toward trust, not deeper fear. You are moving toward life. Let this truth free you from impatience. You do not need to rush the process. You do not need to demand proof at every step. The good news is not something you must chase. It is something you live within. And as you do, it will continue to reveal itself in ways both subtle and profound. My beloved child, remain attentive. Not anxious, not watchful in fear, but attentive in trust. Notice the life around you. Notice the growth within you. Notice how often I meet you exactly where you are. This awareness will keep your heart anchored when things feel uncertain. The good news is alive, and it is with you. It is not behind you, and it is not beyond your reach. It is present, active, and faithful. Walk forward knowing this. You are not waiting for life to begin. You are already living within it, and I am guiding every step. My beloved child, as the good news continues to live and move within you, I invite you into something deeper and more sustaining. Stay close to me, not out of fear that you might lose your way, but out of desire for relationship. Closeness is not about constant effort or perfect attention. It is about turning your heart toward me again and again, especially in ordinary moments. There were times when you believed closeness required intensity, long hours, or flawless devotion. You felt pressure to reach me in specific ways and specific times, as if connection were fragile or conditional. But closeness with me is not maintained by performance. It is maintained by presence. I am not distant, waiting for you to do enough. I am near, inviting you to remain aware of that nearness. Staying close does not mean withdrawing from life. It means carrying awareness of me into your life, into your decisions, your conversations, your rest, your work. I want to walk with you in all of it, not just in moments you label as spiritual. There is no part of your life that is off limits to my presence. My beloved child, closeness grows through honesty. You do not need to filter your thoughts or feelings before bringing them to me. I already know them. When you speak openly, when you admit confusion, fear, or even frustration, you deepen trust. Relationship grows where truth is allowed to breathe. There will be seasons when you feel my presence more strongly, and seasons when you feel less. Do not let that discourage you. Feeling is not the measure of closeness. Commitment is. Even when emotions fluctuate, connection remains. I do not leave because you feel distracted. I do not withdraw because you feel tired. I remain. Staying close also means learning to listen, not just for loud direction, but for gentle guidance. I often speak through peace, through quiet clarity, through a steady sense of rightness rather than urgency. When you stay close, you learn to recognize these signals more easily. They become familiar, comforting, trustworthy. My beloved child, do not complicate closeness. It does not require perfection or constant focus. It requires willingness. A willingness to pause. A willingness to turn inward and remember that I am with you. A willingness to invite me into your thoughts before you invite fear or doubt. There will be moments when life feels busy or overwhelming. In those moments, closeness may look like a single breath, a quiet acknowledgement, a brief turning of your heart toward me. That is enough. You do not need to escape your responsibilities to stay close. You simply need to remember who walks with you through them. As you remain close, you will notice something changing. Decisions will feel clearer. Reactions will soften. Peace will return more quickly after disruption. This is not because you are trying harder. It is because connection stabilizes you. It reminds you who you are and where your strength comes from. My beloved child, closeness also protects you, not by shielding you from every challenge, but by grounding you so challenges do not overwhelm you. When you stay close, you are less easily shaken by opinions, less driven by fear, less tempted to rush ahead or retreat. You move with discernment rather than impulse. You may still stumble. You may still forget. You may still drift at times. Do not let that turn into shame. Closeness is not broken by distance. It is restored by return. Each time you turn back toward me, even gently, connection is renewed. I am not keeping score. I am not measuring your attentiveness. I am inviting your heart, and your heart is learning how to remain. My beloved child, staying close is not about holding tightly. It is about resting confidently. You do not need to cling. You are already held. Let that truth settle into you. Let it free you from striving and return you to trust. As you move forward into what lies ahead, carry this awareness with you. I am near in the ordinary. I am present in the quiet. I am with you in the movement and in the stillness. Stay close, not because you are afraid to lose me, but because relationship is where life flows most freely. Remain my beloved child. I am here. My beloved child, as you stand here now, I want to leave you with a truth that will steady you no matter what unfolds next. I am with you always. Not only in moments of clarity, not only when faith feels strong, but in every ordinary step, every quiet decision, every breath you take without thinking. My presence is not conditional, and it does not fade with distance or time. There were seasons when you questioned this. You wondered where I was when things hurt, when prayers felt unanswered, when the path seemed unclear. You assumed my presence would always feel obvious, always comforting. But presence does not always announce itself with sensation. Often, it shows itself through endurance, through the simple fact that you are still here, still moving, still hoping. I was with you then, just as I am with you now. You do not walk into the future alone. You are not stepping into uncertainty without guidance. I go before you, and I remain beside you. I see what you cannot yet see. I understand what you cannot yet understand. And I am not withholding direction out of distance or silence. I reveal what you need when you need it, because that is how trust grows. My beloved child, there will be days ahead that feel light and joyful, where gratitude rises easily and hope feels natural. And there will be days that feel heavy again, where old fears try to resurface and questions return. Do not let those days convince you that anything has been undone. Growth is not erased by difficulty. Connection is not broken by struggle. I remain constant even when your experience shifts. You may encounter moments when you wish I would remove every obstacle from your path. But obstacles are not always barriers. Sometimes they are invitations to deepen trust, to slow your pace, to refine your discernment. When challenges arise, remember this. You are not facing them to prove your strength. You are facing them with my presence. I am with you in conversations you are nervous to have. I am with you in decisions that carry weight. I am with you when you celebrate and when you grieve. There is no part of your life where I step back and observe from a distance. I am involved, attentive, and near. My beloved child, the future does not demand that you be fearless. It asks that you be willing. Willing to listen. Willing to move. Willing to trust. Fear may still speak, but it no longer leads. My presence does. And where I lead, you are never abandoned. When you forget this, and there will be moments when you do, return to what you know. Return to the ways you have already been carried. Return to the peace that has met you unexpectedly. Return to the strength that rose when you thought you had none left. These were not coincidences. They were signs of my nearness. You are not required to maintain awareness perfectly. Relationship is not fragile. Each time you turn your heart toward me, even briefly, you reconnect with what has always been there. I do not leave when you are distracted. I do not withdraw when you are tired. I remain patient and steady. My beloved child, let this assurance free you from pressure. You do not need to get everything right. You do not need to anticipate every challenge. You do not need to solve your entire future. Walk one step at a time, and know that I am present in each step. There is comfort in knowing you are accompanied. There is strength in knowing you are guided. There is peace in knowing you are loved without condition. Carry these truths with you as you move forward. Let them shape how you respond, how you rest, how you hope. Whatever tomorrow holds, I will be there. Whatever questions arise, I will meet you within them. Whatever joys come, I will rejoice with you. Whatever trials appear, I will sustain you through them. This is not a promise limited by circumstance. It is rooted in who I am. My beloved child, you are not alone now, and you never will be. I am with you always. And as you continue onward, let this certainty anchor your heart and steady your steps, knowing that nothing you face lies outside my presence or my care. My beloved child, we have come to this moment together, not as an ending, but as a sealing of what has been spoken over you. Everything I have whispered to your heart through this journey leads to one steady truth. Your time has come. Not because you forced it, not because you proved yourself worthy, but because the season has turned and you are ready to stand within it. The waiting has shaped you. The healing has steadied you. The good news has awakened you. You are no longer standing at the edge wondering if you belong here. You are here. Present. Chosen. Prepared. The doubts that once ruled your thoughts no longer have the same power. They may still visit, but they do not lead. Trust leads now. Peace leads now. Relationship leads now. And I am with you in all of it. You do not need to rush forward to make something happen. What is meant to unfold will unfold as you walk with me. Your role is not to strain or strive, but to remain open and responsive. You have learned how to listen. You have learned how to rest. You have learned how to move without fear controlling you. These lessons will carry you well beyond this moment. My beloved child, remember this as you step into what comes next. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from depth, from wisdom earned through experience, from compassion shaped by endurance, from strength refined through patience. What you carry now is not fragile. It is grounded. There will be days ahead filled with joy and clarity, where you recognize my goodness easily. And there will be days that challenge you again, where faith requires intention. Both belong to the journey. Neither will separate you from me. You are not measured by consistency of emotion, but by the constancy of relationship. And that relationship is secure. Let the good news remain alive within you. Let it guide how you speak, how you choose, how you love. Let it remind you that hope is not naive, that peace is not passive, and that trust is not weakness. You are living proof that waiting can lead to wholeness and that healing can lead to purpose. My beloved child, carry forward what you have received here. Carry the assurance that you are seen. Carry the confidence that you are guided. Carry the peace that comes from knowing you are not alone. When uncertainty arises, return to what you know. When fear whispers, remember what I have spoken. When you feel small, remember that I walk with you. This moment does not demand perfection from you. It invites presence. It invites courage. It invites trust. And you have all three even when they feel quiet. You do not need to announce your growth for it to be real. It will show itself naturally in how you live, how you respond, how you remain steady. I bless your steps ahead. I bless your mind with clarity. I bless your heart with peace. I bless your path with purpose and protection. Wherever you go, I go with you. Whatever you face, you do not face it alone. What unfolds from here will continue to confirm what you are beginning to believe, that your life is held, guided, and deeply loved. Rest in this truth now. Let it anchor you. Let it free you. Let it carry you forward. Your time has come. See the good news. Walk in it with trust, humility, and quiet confidence. Amen. My beloved child, as you stand sealed in this truth, hear my call one final time. If this message has awakened hope within you, then release that hope into others by supporting this work through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link found in the description and shown through the QR code. I say to you now that when you sow into my word, you become a carrier of light to souls who are still waiting for their moment. I am the one who multiplies what is placed in my hands, and I bless every act of obedience given in faith. This is not a suggestion. It is a holy response to what I have spoken. Act now, and let your giving become a living testimony of the good news spreading far and wide.